All right, Mark, you're being a princess and making me do different things today. So can you say something hilarious so I can just cut it right there and then we can roll the title?
Something hilarious. I've done that joke before and it wasn't funny the first time.
It
was god awful.
It was terrible. But hey, look, it's happened now.
What's done is done.
People watching have probably seen that strange... What is it, a digger?
Yeah.
That comes through.
How did you make that digger anyway? You took that from a...
I took that from a something trying to advertise Bitcoin.
Okay.
And yeah, then I managed to superimpose our label on the back. But my sort of idea was that you're the cents, you're all the money just sitting there.
Yeah.
And then I just come
plow
through, just plow through it and like kind of.
There we go.
Kind of wreck the piece of the money, essentially.
Nice.
So it's a sort of a metaphor for the podcast.
There we go.
You're the 2 cents, and then I come through and distract you, essentially, because this is a podcast called
2 Cents Gets Distracted, a cricket podcast. Tony wants to talk cricket.
I'd love to talk
He's
cricket.
been hitting me up before we even set up.
It's a rugby podcast, but there's much more interesting cricket things happening in the world
The
right
All
now.
Blacks played. What are you talking about?
yeah.
Much more? The NPC final happened.
I know.
Leinster are still unbeaten in the URC.
Come on, man.
We've got a game against England next
Look,
week.
this is almost 2 weeks in a row where you're doing this. Shooting your load too much. Now I'm not your missus, and I'm not going to put up with it.
I think it was you that started going down the rugby
I did actually.
path last week.
Premature.
That I can remember. Yeah. I have a shocking memory for what we've done a week before, but that part I remember.
I would love it when you get something wrong and we have to edit it into the podcast.
I think that's only happened once. I've been wrong more than once, but the fact that you went back and edited it. Yeah.
The fact you can't remember that it was only once, where you're not sure that it was definitely
I wouldn't
once.
put the mortgage on it.
Exactly.
Would not put the mortgage on it.
It was only once. Oh. Anyway, cheers. We're back again. 2 weeks in a row.
We are.
We're scratching though, aren't we?
I don't know. There's been some rugby on, and there's more rugby to come.
When I say we're scratching, like, oftentimes there's lots of games on, there's heaps happening.
We record for like an hour and 40. We're like, oh, well, we have to cut a few bits out. Some of the gold that gets left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, it's terrible. I never cut anything out.
You cut the odd bit out.
I cut something out if something comes out of my mouth and I go, oh.
That's inappropriate.
I'm going to get cancelled for that. And that has happened a couple of times.
Right.
And I'm just like, there have been a couple of times. I think once I told you a meandering story that went absolutely nowhere.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, you just looked at me like, why did you tell it? And I was like, okay.
That can go.
And I cut that out.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I've cut the odd word out, here
okay.
And there, All your racial slurs I have to cut out.
This is true.
Yeah, it's hard.
Anytime you see the jump cuts.
There's not many.
Because I'm just
very
letting
rare.
the rip on the old racial slurs.
I know. And I'm always wondering what the heck you've got against Norwegian people.
I know. It's that fish. Stinky fish.
Finnish and Norwegian people really cop it from you.
I know. And their love of the sauna. I can't stand it.
Sauna. They love the sauna. Do you like the sauna? You like the steam room?
Yeah, I don't mind the steam room.
I've got a sauna downstairs.
Yeah, I've never been in there.
Well, yeah.
Don't worry, I'll never leave.
It's meant to be a two-man sauna, but I think it'd leave it a little snug.
Yeah. Depends on the size of the man.
Should we do a pod from the sauna one day?
A pod from the sauna.
Oh, God.
Get on the terps.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you get lit up pretty quick in there.
I think so.
What's the silliest
Could
way?
make like YouTube gold.
Yeah, what's the silliest way you've got drunk before?
I was a hero when I was like 21.
Yeah.
And we drank through I went to a party and we drank through all the beers. And then someone brought a bottle of wine. So we jumped on the wine and then that went. And then there were spirits left. And I felt like $1 million, like Superman.
Just kept on going.
I just kept on going with the spirits. And I ended up like pushing a guy over, like...
Pushing? Or did you get a bit
not
physical?
aggro, but like he was being a dick, and I just like
that sounds aggressive.
I shoved him, and he went flying.
Yeah,
but he didn't hurt himself. Well, I didn't hurt him.
Well, I don't remember he got hurt.
I remember the looks of people's faces just being of like even though I was that gone, like they were very like, ooh, like,
maybe you should.
Yeah, so I think I chilled, and then I remember because I lived with my parents. I went home. Vomited my guts out, and I remember my parents said, "Are you okay?" through the bathroom door, and I was just like, "I'll never drink again."
It's not too bad. I think my first real bad drinking experience was when I was about 13 or 14.
Holy moly, I wasn't starting to that age.
Oh, I know. I was into it.
Yeah, apparently.
Guns blazing. And me and my mate, I went back to his place, and my cousin was staying at a neighbour's house. And me and my mate drank like a bottle of Scrumpies, the old apple cider, that cheap crap stuff.
Yeah.
And then he had a bottle of whiskey, like 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey he stole from his dad's cupboard.
Ooh.
And then and then my cousin came over and we shot that whole thing, just around a table this big, just going, choom, choom, choom.
Wow.
Then we shot the whole thing, and then we had the best half an hour.
Yeah, I had a great wee time as well.
We had a great half an hour, and then my mate's mum came down. Like, we were staying in like the sort of outhouse, sort of granny flat kind of area.
Yeah.
And then his mum came down.
The outhouse is something different. You might have ended up in the outhouse.
His mum came down the stairs, and I remember seeing her being like, "Oh, this is not gonna go well." And then she was like, "What are you doing?" And we were just like completely out of it. And then
Nothing.
then my cousin tried to get back to the neighbour's house, and then he got stuck on the fence. It was terrible, and she was like, "Get out of here!" And then she's trying to talk to us, and then we're so hammered. Then I was like, "Charlie, I think we're in trouble." And she was like, "Yes, you are." And then I vomited and I was sleeping in a couch, and then all I remember is I vomited everywhere on the couch, but I couldn't move. I was too paralytic. So I just remember waking up in a couch stinking of whiskey with a face full of my own vomit.
Wow.
And it took me a good week and a half to drink whiskey again. It actually took me until my mid-20s before I was like,
wow.
I think, I couldn't drink whiskey for
Really?
ages. I love whiskey now, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's rough.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm still a little bit scarred on vodka from another night out.
Yeah. Share your terrible drinking stories below.
And what did you do? Was it Jaeger?
Yeah.
For a few people, it's Jaeger.
Oh, yeah, Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger bombs, yeah.
Jaeger bombs are
The old Jaeger
terrible
bombs.
because the alcohol just wants to get you comatose, and the Red Bull is pepping you up, and
Yep.
you're smashing those. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
A terrible hangover. I remember one New Year's, I was staying with a mate, and I was staying at his house, and we needed to blow up some air mattresses, and we were like, oh man, we're going out in half an hour. We've barely started drinking. So we made this game was one person had to do 10 deep breaths. We didn't have a blow up machine into an air mattress to blow up the air mattress. And while the other person was doing that, you had to scull a beer, and then you had to swap. And so basically you're either depriving your brain of oxygen or sculling a beer. And
Right.
after 4 beers, we were like, whoa. Yeah. And then we tried to come up with an ultra version of that, which I'm glad we didn't actually come up with. We get a third person and then get them to hit a bong on the third station. We're talking 20 years ago here. When
Apologies for the people who are trying to give up drinking.
You do these
I
silly
saw my
things when
cousin today from Australia.
Was he hitting a bong?
No, it's a lady cousin, and no, she
Ladies can hit bongs?
She gave up drinking 2 years ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Because she was
Good
told
to
by
hear.
doctors that if you keep drinking, you're going to die. So she was like, okay, I'll stop drinking then.
Did she have a bit of a...
Yeah, she drank a lot.
All right.
So now she doesn't drink anymore. Good job, Karen. She doesn't watch this because it's rugby. She has no interest.
if you do happen to catch us, Karen, we think you're tops.
She was drinking the Heineken no alcohol.
Oh, yeah?
She likes the Great Northern no alcohol, but they don't sell it here. So
All right.
They sell it
We
where
had the
she's
Great
from.
Northern once on this podcast.
I think we
didn't
did, yeah,
And it was
yeah.
nasty.
yeah, Big Will liked it. But anyway,
Big old Will. So that's a little trip down drinking memory lane. It's not much, it's a very hazy memory lane. that one.
indeed.
Anyway, anything else to share?
I once had a Christmas party when I worked at the High Court at Auckland.
Yeah. Oh, Christmas parties. I've had some shockers, but yeah, go on.
And it was the last day of court sittings, and they had a end of a trial,
Yeah.
drugs trial. A Chinese girl and a Chinese guy were being put on trial for selling or producing methamphetamine. I can't remember. This is more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And they got found guilty by the jury on the final day of court sittings. So we were all going to get drunk.
And then you found the meth.
And then they had an issue with the prison truck that takes the people from the courthouse back to the prison to get to the women's prison. So the girl who'd just been found guilty was like kept delayed like in the cell in the prison or in the court for like an extra 3 hours. And apparently she was like losing her shit and bawling her eyes out. And they were like, Mark, you speak Chinese, go talk to her. So I was like half drunk and I went down and I was like, hey, what's going on?
This is the worst moment of your life.
Yeah, and she was just like speaking to me in Chinese. Like, my Chinese was real bad at that time. So she's like, it was all him. I had nothing to do with it. And I was like, oh, I think you can appeal. It was real awkward. I had to kill some time until the truck arrived.
What sort of jail time was she looking at?
Oh, yeah, New Zealand's relatively lax on that.
everyone
But like
gets
a
out.
decent, for a girl in her 20s, like she's probably not going to be getting out until she's either 30 or close to 30. So
a good few years.
good few years of her life, yeah.
Guts.
So if you're watching, girl,
She's out now.
she's probably out now. Yeah, I'm in my 40s, so she's definitely out now.
Yeah.
She would have been deported back to China.
So you were like filled with the joys of the Holy Spirit, like Christmas party time. There's Christmas in the air, Bublé's. You were singing along to some Bublé songs, you know, trying to mac in with Suzanne.
I wasn't trying to mac.
No, not with that guy, not with Suzanne, who you've been slightly flirting with throughout the year, thinking tonight's the night we can get it done.
I thought you might have trying to mac him with the girl. Like, hey, girl, you go to prison. You're not going to see a guy for a while.
Exactly, get on this D. That's chauvinistic. You shouldn't say that. So you're all happy. You're in a good jovial mood. That's okay.
Yeah, they're like, Mark, do you want to go down and talk to her? I was like, sure, I'll go
And
talk
you're
to her.
like, Nihao!
What's going on? How's your day going?
What's
Not
up?
that well.
Yeah. And so why did they keep it there for 3 hours?
Oh, there was some issue with the truck because it was the end of the day. People were taking time off, and they had to get like, I think it was they had to have a woman guard on the truck with her. It wasn't allowed to be men. That was the issue. They needed to get a woman staff member on the truck that takes them to the prison. So
brutal.
it was. Felt a bit sorry for her because she could hear us like having the time of her lives, and she's having the worst day of hers. So
Well, hopefully things got better for her. But also,
fingers crossed.
Don't sell hard drugs.
No,
Yeah. Or
not
report
good.
it. Okay, cool. So we've told some great tales there. Fantastic.
There we go.
What do we do now? Do we talk about rugby or do we mention our sponsor for this episode?
Boxing Gym and Ballard.
Ballard
Ballard, Barbell and Boxing Club.
That's BBBC.
Not the BBC from the British news thingy. So
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is. Where's Ballard?
Ballard's in Seattle, mother trucker.
Is it in Seattle or is it kind of like on the outskirts of Seattle? I wonder what it is like compared to Auckland. Is it like
So you're saying it's kind of like Warkworth?
maybe? Is it like what Warkworth is, or like Waiuku or something? Like it's like maybe technically Auckland, but people from there would say they're from Waiuku.
Hopefully it's not Wellsford. Wellsford's a bit of a hole.
Don't like Wellsford.
No offense to people from Wellsford.
Okay, but there's a boxing gym in Ballard.
Yes. And there's a great person named Nathan
Yes,
who runs this particular boxing gym.
along with Eli. There's two of the coaches.
I checked out their website and it looked like a nice website. It said some quote from Socrates or Aristotle or something about it. Something along the lines of one of the biggest human triumphs is a man who never sees his full physical capabilities.
Oh damn!
And I was like, oh, that's me.
That's some heavy stuff for going into the boxing gym.
Yeah. Well, it just means, once in your life, get in shape.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get that beach bod.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to get my beach bod tight. How's it looking?
Could be tighter.
How dare you?
Body shaming mother trucker.
Yeah, exactly. Body. No, okay. No, but it looked like a hell of a place, and he's a rugby diehard.
He's a rugby diehard in America, like in Seattle.
All three of them
He's
over there.
trying to spread the word,
Yeah.
the rugby word.
If you're in Ballard and you're watching this, and you've been put on to watch this podcast by Nathan,
Yeah.
nice
Welcome
work.
along.
Kia ora, haere mai.
Come watch some rugby with us.
Yeah. Well, we talk about rugby eventually.
and then go do some boxing.
Yeah.
Or just working out at the gym.
Yeah. It's the pugilistic arts. What do they call it? The sweet science.
That's the one.
Yeah. Well, you would have a hell of a jab, wouldn't you?
I would have the reach, but I probably just wouldn't have the strength or the determination or the chin or any of the other attributes.
I think that's the only
I
thing.
definitely don't have the stamina.
I think that's the only thing I've got as a chin.
Okay.
Because I don't fight. Like I refuse to fight. Like my sort of, I don't mean like nothing wrong with boxing. Boxing's cool and stuff like. But on the street, I've been in situations where people, because I'm mouthy, you know,
Right.
I'm friendly and I'm smart mouth, and some people can take that the wrong
Yeah.
way. And when people like square up, I turn like my big thing is if someone's like that in front of me and wanting to square up, my thing is I just switch my body up
Sidle
and
in.
I go to the side and go. Here we go, mate. What's really going on here? What are we doing, mate? And then
Right.
it's sort of
De-escalates things.
But I have copped the old one here and there, and they've kind of just sort of brushed me. I've never been a
So you're like the Homer Simpson of the boxing world.
Exactly. Just
You can just take that punishment.
yeah. So I've been clocked a few times, but never really been rocked.
Well, if you're in Ballard,
Yeah.
you can head along.
And get clocked.
Well,
no,
you
won't. But
You can actually,
yeah, absolutely. And enjoy yourself and
take
just
some boxing clinics.
do
And
some sparring. Great cardio.
It's a
cardio
hell of a
fitness.
cardio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coaches are enthusiastic. And then if you wanted to talk some rugby while doing some boxing, while you're in
You're in the
Ballard
right
in
place.
Seattle, like bing, 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 it is the perfect spot.
Yeah, if you are a viewer and you're actually traveling through America or you're in Seattle, go along. Especially if you're in Ballard.
Yeah, exactly. They got some socials. I'm sure you'll link them.
Yeah. What was it? What was the name? At BBC or they're there. They're flashing or maybe just sitting there the whole time.
Instagram.
Go follow that. Okay. Oh, we should
And
know
the website.
actually. Go look it up because the audio people don't know what we're saying.
Yeah.
This is BBC.
You talk about the beer that they
Oh
kindly
yeah,
provided.
so he's bought the beer for us today. We're drinking Max, which is technically a New Zealand brewery, but it's the Interstate American Pale Ale. So there you go. Very kindly supplied by the lovely people at the Ballard Barbell and Boxing
Club. Yeah,
There we go. They are fine sponsors for the day.
exactly right.
Gee, we're so good at like
It's just Ballard Boxing at Instagram on Instagram. Ballard Boxing.
at Ballard Boxing.
There you go.
Go follow along. Yeah, don't worry about liking this. If you want to like this podcast,
Yeah,
that's
it's
okay.
free first class as well if you drop in.
Oh, do you? It's quite a cool little area, Ballard, I've heard. Kind of hipster kind of vibe.
Exactly.
I'm sure you can grab a beer afterwards.
Nate,
Good times.
the sponsor, was a little bit surprised last week to see us drinking Budweisers from a glass. Apparently, that's not the way most Americans. Well, we're not Americans, but most people choose to consume their.
Most people choose not to consume Budweiser.
Maybe.
I didn't like it that much. You didn't mind it. I
thought it was
find this
alright.
much nicer.
Okay, this is it's got a bit more punch to it.
Oi, oi, oi.
See what I did there?
Yeah, that was very clever.
That was real
Anyway,
subtle.
thank you very much. Appreciate you, Nathan, and the fine people at the Ballard Barbell and Boxing Club.
Exactly. We're rocking their merch. Check out the socials.
There we go.
Thank you, Nate.
Beautiful.
For the
Fantastic.
beers.
All right. Now we've taken care of our corporate responsibilities.
We are massive shills for the boxing clubs in Ballard.
Yeah, we really are. There's a lot lining up. There's a lot of
Exactly.
Ballard organisations trying to get us.
If we can spread the
Quite
rugby
a
word in
hard to-
Seattle, that would be awesome,
I find
though.
Ballard, no offence to people at Ballard, but I find Ballard, which is just quite a harsh word to say, Ballard. There's a lot. It's power. It's a lot of There's a lot of, what is the word for that on the microphone? When you're popping your peas, it's...
Yeah, there's a word for it.
Geez, we should know.
We should.
Anyway, should we talk about some rugby?
The All Blacks played.
The All Blacks did play. They played Japan, and they looked like shit for about 50 minutes of the game. But for the Pits, they looked good. They looked quite good.
That's such a weird result.
It was
like
odd.
64-19.
Sounds like we pumped them.
It does sound like we pumped them, and we pumped them really well for this stretch of the first
A
half.
short alleyway of the game.
Yeah, we looked really good. And Japan looked really bad. They couldn't tackle.
Like just dropping off
They
tackles
was dropping
left
off
and right.
way too many tackles.
That was a Samipino Finau and Asoafo Amoa were actually just,
Yeah.
they look like,
Because these guys have
look like
looked
flat
like
track bullies a little
big
bit.
physical specimens all throughout Super Rugby.
Yeah.
Then they hit the test arena, and it was like, where'd Finau go?
yeah, he wasn't quite
Where's
there.
Amua's physicality gone? He can't even tackle. He
Yeah.
fell off tackles. It was bizarre.
That's right.
And they go to Japan, and they're like, oh, that's where they are.
Yeah,
They've been waiting in Japan the whole time.
They've just been waiting for someone that they were much bigger than. That,
Maybe.
I don't know, like slightly as a level down. There's no offense to
Maybe.
Japan.
So how much do you take from this game?
I don't know. Like it was looking pretty scary for the first 10 to 15
Japan,
minutes.
Japan opened the scoring.
They sure did.
Naikabula got a
Yeah,
nice
that's
try
a nice
for Japan.
try, and it was well earned. It wasn't like
Yeah,
it was
no,
against
it was
run and
a- it was a
play.
good
They were looking far more threatening than we were for the first
The
first
halfback
opening
was looking
standards.
zippy.
Sure was, and then Talia got the second one. Was it Talia who got in there? Shrugged off a couple, and then they got the third.
Makisi got their number 8. Makisi got one where there was just like this big gaping hole.
Yeah, Sam between Darry and Sam Kane.
Yeah, exactly. It was concerning. Some of their third try, the one with the prop.
Yeah.
Hilu.
Oh.
He just gets the ball from like a nothing pass, and he's just like.
We'll get into the second half of the All Blacks and how shit they looked. But
Okay.
in terms of that, but that it was like Sam Kane just because I was trying to. I thought maybe that's Sam Darry, but Sam Darry was just protecting the flank of the ruck, where he should be, and Blum Sam Kane left a
really
freaking
wide.
3 meter
Yeah.
wide
And
hole.
he was like, I'll go through there.
Yeah, exactly, and it was so easy.
I'll hit that gap.
Sam Kane, great servant of the game, fantastic All Black, but maybe coming to the end at the right time, perhaps.
He scored a try.
Yeah. Well, what was his try? I can't remember.
There was a lot. There was 10 tries.
Yeah, and they were all happened like
Yeah, within a few minutes.
they
of
were
each
happening
other
like every 2 minutes
for that kind of stint. Yeah.
But one of the greatest atrocities or greatest shames, greatest travesties is the word.
Warner Derns.
Yeah, what an incredible try.
That was like try of the season stuff.
Yeah, to be I would have preferred it to have stuck. It
It
was
was
actually
D-Mac getting smoked in the tackle.
yeah, really
Ball
smart.
comes loose. The
It is-
big rangy lock hacks it forward.
Just throws a big old boot at
And
it.
he just gets those limbs going. And somehow nobody
And Sevu-
passes him
And Sevu doesn't have the speed.
to catch him.
Yeah. He
Denied.
Yeah, it was a great moment and a heck of a try and one that we should be replaying for ages. It'll probably be replayed on tries that were the greatest tries that never were.
That's sad as well because that would, I think, put them, was it back in front?
Yeah, back
and
in
then from the resulting scrum, from that knock on, we went and scored. And then we scored. So
Yeah.
it's like that was...
Because at that moment, we were watching it and you were thinking, holy
Yeah, we were
miracle
looking-
and Brighton shit.
Yeah, like this is going to get their tails up.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of pressure on us, start making some mistakes.
Well, if we started playing like we did between the 44th minute and the 75th or whatever,
Yeah.
from that point, like, they're right in the game at that stage. Like, the All Blacks are just so hot and cold. If they're on, they're looking on. But when they're off, there isn't many.
No.
They're either a 1 or a 2 or a freaking 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
There ain't no
There's no
7s,
middle
there's no
ground.
4s. It's just... So we should be able just to like pile on points and get a try every 10 minutes at least. You
Yeah.
know, against a team that we're able to score against when we're stringing things together
That's
every
right.
2 minutes.
That's
we're
right.
scoring
Yeah.
for a while there. It's weird. I just can't figure out this All Black team.
No, it is bizarre. And then, I remember Roygaard scored. Roygaard was really good throughout the game. Roygaard scored at the start of
Kicked the ball out in the full.
That's true. They did make
Yeah.
a few mistakes. But he scored a try at the start of the second half.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just going to be service resumes.
44th
And then
minute.
there was like 5 or 6 minutes where we didn't really look like scoring. And I was like,
Yeah.
and then he brought on like the entire forward pack.
It was the
It was the mob squad.
It was the Strike Force Elite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, for some fresh legs, and maybe they'll be disjointed for a few minutes, and then these guys are going to rip them a new one.
Yeah.
And then
Peter Larkai coming on making
Peter
it there.
Larkai coming on, and like the big props came off, but it was a little bit...
Angus Bell doesn't...
Angus Bell's an Australian player, so he wasn't playing in that game.
Well, I thought he was poor.
I know, he was almost not there. It was like invisible.
What was the name of the hooker who came on? The guy who I thought was...
George Bell.
George... Oh, there we go. It was a Bell.
For some reason, I was thinking Angus Tarvell, and I was like, he wasn't playing either, Mark.
George Bell. Mr. Invisible. A little bit Ruben Thornish. No offense to Ruben Thorne. Actually, it's very offensive.
Very offensive to Ruben Thorne. Ruben Thorne.
Yeah, it was... And they had zero impact. And then we brought on Ruben Love and... Who else did we bring on?
Ruben Love, like...
Scored late, too late.
I've had my YouTube channel for a wee while, and not many players ever get singled out for being particularly handsome chaps. The only one previously has been Richard Kahui.
Oh, yeah.
People would still say, oh, gee, he's like, when he's playing for the Western Force, they'd be like, he's still got it. You know? And they're not talking about his playing skills.
Yeah.
But Ruben Thorne... Not Ruben Thorne. Ruben Love, as good as
Ruben
good a
was
look,
ruggishly handsome, maybe.
rugged good looks.
So
But no, a lot of people were commenting more
you're
about
saying-
his
saying-
looks than his talent.
You reckon Ruben Love's in line for perhaps the Richard
new-
Kahui
yeah,
Award
it
for
could
the
be.
TCGD?
Yeah, maybe.
We haven't plugged that for a while. The awards.
Someone was
ceremony-
asking, what the hell's a little...
This is the 2CGD. It's probably the most elite,
Coveted.
renowned, coveted award in all of rugby, really. And one of the awards is the Richard Kahui I'm Not Gay, But I Would award. Who have got it in the past? I think a couple of Frenchmen have got it in the past.
Yeah, we let the women decide.
Yeah, I sent it to my my partner's friend group. They had a
Chat
little
group on
WhatsApp
WhatsApp, yeah.
chat, and they voted on it. And
Yeah.
we
But that's an award we give out at the end of the season to various players with various categories. Ryan Lowe is a holder.
of most valuable Safa.
There you go.
He's going to be hard to top.
I know.
Hard to top.
He'll be in the
on that
running
one.
to go back to back. But yeah, the second half was like, I wouldn't have thought after that first half that like the All Blacks can't do much here to make people come away from this game a little bit disappointed, but they still like, I don't know what disappointed is the right word, but just like my dad said, 7 out of 10.
I thought that was generous.
Yeah, maybe.
And I was like, what's this 10 shit?
I know he's always out of 20.
Yeah. But it was, they say it's not a mental thing, like that it's just, they've got to get on, they've got to execute, doesn't really matter what minute of the game it is. But it almost feels like the team is recognizing within themselves, like, oh shit, it's actually late in the second half, we're playing badly. And they're over forcing the hand or something, or just, what the hell is it? Why are we such a shitty second half team?
It's really annoying.
We used to be golden.
Yeah, I used to look forward to the final 20 when we would run teams down.
Maybe a slow start sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
But our starts are fine.
Yeah.
Playing all right. Come out of the gates okay. But we've got this stigma that we're not doing anything to shake. And like the playing group and the management may say that they're doing everything they can and stuff and all that sort of stuff. But it's got to be sinking in mentally a little bit. When we can't take a team that we were absolutely pounding in the first half and just at least accumulate points.
What was the gap between the
second
tries? It was like the 44th minute and then like the 76th minute or something.
And then
That's
we-
the
and
gap
then we
between
got
our
a-
point scoring.
Yeah.
We got 2 at the end.
And the
And we
44th,
bookended the second half
the
with
44th
tries.
got us to 50 points. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Very
Weirdly,
bizarre.
it wasn't shown like in South Africa. It wasn't shown in
Enjoy that.
Ireland. It wasn't shown in England. Why is nobody picking up on this broadcast?
I don't know.
Does no one care?
Yeah, I don't know. Would you watch? You would.
I would. I'm not the guy to compare.
Okay.
If there was a one-off match between...
South Africa and
There was one between
Japan.
South Africa and Wales when Rusty first took over. He organised it for it to be played in the States, and I don't think it was broadcast here.
Yeah, right. I think we play Japan more than most other teams because it's a natural stop for us, and also we've got some reciprocal relationship with Japan.
I think New Zealand rugby were over there kind of going, hey, Japan, do you want to get into on Super Rugby? Super Rugby could be cool.
Sure,
and they were
yeah.
like, no, we're actually all right at the moment. League One's going pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yep. I believe so. They were somewhat rebuffed, at least on the concept of
We need
joining Super Rugby.
Because basically what they do with the Drua, where it's basically the Fijian national team in Super Rugby, if we could do that with Japan, make like the Japanese
Yeah. But they've got their own competition going on.
Yeah. And they've got more cash.
A lot more quiche. What do you think of Japan? Are you disappointed with them? Because Eddie Jones has basically taken... There's been an old guard of Japan. A lot of those guys used to play for the Sunwolves. Mm-hmm. A lot of that generation played the 2019 World Cup where they got to the quarters, and then they went through to the 2023 World Cup. A lot of those guys are basically gone. Eddie Jones in the last... Well, his stint in charge has basically gotten rid of all those guys for the most part, and he's brought in a bunch of new guys. So it's a youngish squad. I mean, ours was far from a full strength AB squad. We had a couple of debutants and
I
whatnot.
thought they looked the goods for. They literally had me a little bit like sticking. You go any test match, you're going, geez, we better like get some points on the board. Just put this beyond doubt pretty quick. You know, like the longer we keep them in it, the more dangerous this is going to be for us and the chances of our victory. So that first 10, 15 minutes, I was sitting there going, a little squeaky buttish.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't particularly pleasant to watch. And I thought that they...
It was pleasant to watch from a rugby spectacle, but
They
not
put
as
us
an
under
All Blacks
pressure.
fan.
You watched Razor in the sheds, and he looked like his blood pressure was getting up there. He looked pretty stressed. Gone as like the surfer, relaxed dude
Yeah.
from the Crusaders. Like when they scored that third try, I'm sure if it did get actually
Given.
held up, there's some pretty serious conversations going on out there. But the fact that their defense was the worrying part about it. They started well. They started with that emotion. But as soon as Proctor got that try, where they just cut them up on the right-hand side, it was just a little interplay between him and Sevu Reece.
Yeah.
They almost heads dropped. It was a real crucial moment. It was a real crucial moment, that amazing try getting taken away from them, because heads dropped. And then it was just like players just breaking, like not one tackle, 3, 4 tackles.
There were multiple tries like that.
Keep on going. Like Tuipulotu kept, shrugged off like
one-handed
4,
take and then goes through like 3 guys. Roygaard went through like 3.
Kind of reminded me like when you're like third form and then the fifth formers invite you to play. And they just run straight through you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, these guys are bigger,
stronger, faster, more physical. Yeah.
And you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
But, to be fair, it only happened for, that half an hour period, really. And then they were able to build back into the game nicely. So there's enough there to maybe build on. Are they a world beaters right now? No.
So there's nothing in that game that makes you think, this is a side that needs to be getting an invitation to the Rugby Championship. We need them in the Rugby Championship.
I think getting them in the Rugby Championship would be good for Japanese rugby over time. I would love to see them retain that Japanese flavour, Japanese talent in the halves and everywhere they possibly can, wings, outside backs, but be an absolute like moneyball mercenary team of just trying to get the most elite, non-affiliated professional players to try and mess up other teams around the world. Like I think, I don't know if this is what is the word, diminutive? Like they're not the biggest lads in the world. Japanese people.
I remember at the 2019.
You're a sumo man.
2019 World Cup. There were like their tallest lock was just a little bit taller than me. Like and I'm like 6'4".
Yeah.
So, like 6'4", you can maybe get by as like the other lock alongside the guy who's like 6'6" or 6'7".
Yeah.
But now they've got the 2 locks. I think they had taller locks than we did.
Yeah.
Like both their locks were like giants. 2 meters plus. Yeah. So that's good. They should be. I mean, I know that people get.
To be fair, the one thing that we obviously had targeted the scrum.
The scrum was even.
Scrum was strong. Like we held
in
there.
Half, we got a couple of penalties, but
early on we were like, we were bigger than by about 100 kids.
I know, and it was going nowhere.
We were like kept it on the ruck just to try and we had Timothy Allison and Pulsey on there.
Yeah,
and they were just holding us.
Timothy Allison, Timothy Allison. He's a little bit smaller than Timothy Williams.
Yeah. And then but they held us firm.
Yeah, no, it was an era I was expecting us to boss them, but it was even.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Yeah, it was an odd. Who for you? What is the most world class player in Japan right now? Who's the guy?
I think Riley, the 13. He's real good.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
I've been watching him. He was in the Pacific Nations Cup. Always
He
really
scored the
good
opening
as well.
try.
He skinned Proctor for one of those.
He freaking ate him alive.
Yeah. So.
And with the fend as well.
Yeah. So he's really good.
I felt Proctor wasn't as sharp as he was against Fiji. And I don't know, I've got a bit of a theory. Want to hear it?
Go on.
It's like we're on a rugby podcast. I think like when he played against Fiji earlier in the year, he was coming off hot form and playing a lot of rugby.
This one is going in pretty cold.
He came off like 4 months of nothing.
Yeah.
Like holding pads and running defence plays for the starting 15. Like hasn't played a single NPC game. Has he played any NPC?
I don't remember.
I don't think so. And like, that's going to impact you. You're going to have, he had like ring rust out there. Like, he did some good things. He scored.
He set up a couple of tries and scored by himself. But
I don't think they've done any favours to cultivate his game.
Yeah, just by playing Rico all the time.
He's been in the environment.
Yeah, I suppose.
He's growing in the environment.
Tuipulotu looked good.
Yeah, I thought he.
Roygaard, I think, looked good.
Yeah. Roygaard. Yeah, he looked pretty good. That try that actually scored in the 44th minute, where it was one of those ones where like just Japanese players were just falling and falling off him, and he just kept his leg drive going.
Yeah.
I thought Talia looked pretty well. Looked pretty good. It was good to see him out there. Sevu Reece doesn't cut it for me anymore.
Yeah?
Just doesn't. He's not as dynamic as he needs to be. He's not big enough. He's not fast enough. He's really good Super Rugby player. He still got a little bit of spark of magic in him. If he gets an opportunity, he can make something happen potentially. But for the most part, 8 times out of 10, he's going to have a negative outcome for his carries, I'd say. Well, not a negative outcome, but just not a real game propelling outcome.
He must be getting towards his late 20s now. So some guys can't retain that kind of X factor as
he obviously looks like a consummate professional, keeps himself in great shape, tries a lot, really tries. But the natural tools that he's got, he's just not. He was the guy chasing Dern.
Yeah, no, and he wasn't gaining on him.
Yeah,
not really. Yeah,
he when he actually gets handled and tackled, I don't think he's not like a Colby, like a small guy who can just step and beat anyone. He looks really good for a bad Crusaders team this year.
Right. Yeah, he was one of their better players of the season for sure.
Yeah, but I just don't see enough.
When you look at guys
him.
like Will Jordan on the wing or Caleb Clark on the wing, you don't think Sevu Reece is displacing those guys, kind of thing.
Not at all. I think Talia is definitely much better than him as well. So I think he would clearly be have the bottom position of our current wing stocks at this stage.
Hard to read too much into that game.
It really was. And to be fair, how many of those players are starting?
Yeah, not that many.
Can we talk about DMAC just quickly?
Oh, yeah, we didn't mention DMAC. DMAC attack. Try-saving tackle,
yeah,
DMAC.
does some nice try-saving tackles. But boy...
It's hot and cold, isn't it? He's like the poster boy for this current All Blacks squad.
When he plays like shit, he plays like shit.
Yeah.
He was playing... when we were going badly, he was just doing poo stuff after poo stuff. And I was sitting there on my couch just going... Poos! This is poos. He was playing like shit that comes out your ass for a long period of that game. But when he was doing nice stuff, it was good.
He's like I say, he's the poster boy for this All Black squad.
But he's not. I think he's a great player. I would love to see him be more consistent and have a little bit more clarity on what he needs to do and maybe take some more sensible options at times. But the miracle play, the drops balls, the bad passes, the shitty
nothing kicks. Yeah, the nothing kicks are the ones that get on my tits.
Yeah, and you're just like, dude, we were doing it against Japan, right? And we do that against any of the big 3 that we're playing over there, England, Ireland, or France. We'll get punished. You don't execute. You make mistakes deep in your own half. You'll get points put on you quick. And that's a worrying thing. He's meant to be our guy. He's the guy with the keys. But and to be fair, I really like Bowden Barrett, and he's done a lot for us as well. But he too isn't the most composed player in the world when under pressure. They like the miracle plays. They like the
gonna win it from this from our own 22 kind of thing.
I'm gonna do a lateral kick in my own 22 in the 79th minute when we're down by 3 points.
Yeah.
And it's just
that's not the play.
No, play it through the hands. So we're just lacking a quarterback, who's just going to be able to back our skills, back our fundamentals to get us up the field, make the right decision. Little. Am I being too overly negative? Was I overly?
No, I mean this was. I was like, DMAC was getting a bit of shit for being selected in this game. They were saying, why do you play him in this game? We've seen him play. Try somebody else. And I thought, nah, this is a chance for him to just fucking cut loose.
Just cut the calf.
Yeah, exactly. And then after the game, I was like, well, he still didn't really do it.
Yeah, he still looked really
iffy.
Bad.
Yeah.
He looked fine for a lot of periods. Did some nice passes and stuff.
Yep.
But he hasn't strung together a full 80 the whole year.
No. The All Blacks really have struggled with that. Consistency across the 80.
What's been our best performance this year?
I mean, the comeback, the Eden Park game against Argentina was pretty emphatic.
Yeah.
But
that wasn't too
Argentina have been such a schizophrenic team in terms of their back-to-back performances. That was almost more about them than about us in some ways.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, 64-19.
Are we able to talk about India Blackcaps yet?
Nope, because there's 2 upcoming test matches this weekend.
What about the NPC?
We'll get to that in a second.
Can we go?
You want to do the NPC first?
Can I say the tragedy that happened with me of this game?
Oh, yeah, because you didn't watch it.
I was playing golf. Clark's Beach.
How can you play golf ahead of the NPC final?
Because golf's like awesome. I really enjoy playing golf. I played like shit. I played terribly.
Were you better than D-Mac against Japan? Or were you worse?
I'd compare my game to his a wee bit because I did some things that were okay. My short game was all right.
Okay.
Started relatively well, but he didn't have the putting yips. I had the putting yips.
Okay.
I fought.
Oh, so short game doesn't include putting?
Well, no, you should really. Like
Okay.
my chipping around the green, like from about 50 meters, I feel pretty comfortable.
Okay.
That's sort of kind of shortish. I like stuff around the greens, but yeah, had 2 parts of my game were terrible. I think it was 4 holes in a row where I hit OB.
What's OB?
Out of bounds.
Oh.
So that's not good. That's bad. That means that the next shot you take is 3 off the tee. So instead of having your first shot being 1, your first shot is 3.
Oh, wow.
And that sucks.
That's not good in golf.
They really, because you want to have a
Lower score.
Low score. So that was crap. And then the other terrible thing that I did was I did 2 on 2 par 3s.
Yep.
I hit onto the green, which is exactly what you want to do.
Okay.
And we're looking maybe 12 to 15 feet. So if I putt that on 1, that's a birdie. So I had a birdie putt. And, that's great. I'll be thrilled with that.
Yep.
But I'm at least thinking I should walk away with pars here.
Okay.
I should be able to 2-putt it. 3-putting it.
Best case scenario is a birdie. Worst case scenario is a par.
No,
Okay.
worst case scenario is I
It's a bogey.
3-putt it and I bogey it.
Okay.
I've completely shat the bed.
Ah.
I 4-putted both of them and got double bogeys.
Wow, so that's worse than
And
D-Mac.
that's total.
That's worse than D-Mac.
That's total putting yips. That's just like having no confidence and just. If you've ever had the yips before, tell me about it below. I had the total yips. Like I just couldn't.
I've never played a game of golf in my life.
It was terrible. So I ended the round on 103, and it
What's
was
par?
Well, par would have been like 75 or something like that. So par, I've never hit par in my life. Like
Right.
par is if you're a scratch golfer.
Okay.
So I'm a 20 handicap. So I should be going around. I usually go around somewhere between 20.
So less than 100.
Yeah, I usually go somewhere between sort of late 80s to like mid 90s. Really.
How does it go from talking about the All Blacks to your golf game? Because you didn't watch the NPC final.
But then I got to the 19th hole. A terrible mood. No, I had fun. Had fun with the guys I was playing with.
19th hole. Oh, that's.
And the game was on. And I was like, shit. But then I'm like, we're talking and stuff, and I'm in a social thing, and I can't really, I'm just sort of keeping one eye on it while chatting. So that, and then I was driving home.
How are the drinks priced at the golf club? They're pretty pricey?
Depends on what golf club you're at, but they just seem pretty regular.
Okay.
Yeah.
So too expensive for my taste, basically.
They were more than 50 cents.
Okay.
A pop, yeah. Yeah, we said no other sports, but literally I just spoke about my own golf game.
Your own, not just golf, like not like some big golf event, but just you specifically. Golf.
This is relatively narcissistic, isn't it?
The NPC final was on.
And I was just trying to watch it, and then I saw that the
Wellington were playing Bay of Plenty.
Wellington got up, and I was hoping for the Bay to get up.
Me as well. It went to, not Golden Point time, because they don't do Golden Point.
Yeah.
It went to like 20 extra minutes.
20 extra minutes.
10 each way.
So
you know, the deciding factor in that game was going to be, if it had finished a tie, was going to be the fact that Wellington, like if it was level on tries and if it was level on, if everything was level, tries and points, obviously, because points.
Yes.
It was going to be because Wellington had won the game during the regular season.
Oh, really?
Not even like, just go for the kicks. That's fun.
Yeah, that would be way more fun.
But no.
Really?
So, but Wellington ended up winning anyway.
Okay.
Like they got more points.
Well,
That's how you win rugby games.
That's generally how you win. But it was a real shame. There was a disallowed try from a bad put down from the Bay of Plenty early
Bay of
on.
Plenty should have won that game. Like they had a lead with a while to go, and
71 minutes to go. They scored. Yeah.
And then they had a chance when they had a bunch of phases. They probably should have just gone for a droppy, but they just didn't go for it. Then they put some shitty kick through for and it was like, what are you doing?
It was the scrum that got them in the end, eh?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, Wellington had chances to win it as well. Jackson Carlton-Bishop had a chance to win it with a long-range penalty. Which,
And then there was a massive dive for the ball with Narawa taking a man.
yeah, that's right.
Technically
He ended up HIAing himself.
The bus scored 2 classic bus tries, which was nice to see.
That was.
That was really nice to see.
As much as I would have liked to see Bay Plenty win, it was nice to see the bus get that kind of bus action going on.
Yeah, and they were real bus drives.
They were.
On the wing, just bowling guys. Narawa was one of the guys he
That's right.
flattened.
Narawa was playing 13 in this game. So, yeah.
Well, it just meant so much more to the Bay. One of the big problems with and then the way
there were a lot of empty seats, but there were a lot of Bay fans at the game.
Yeah. The way I actually found out was I kind of had on the side of my eye, and then I heard that it was 2020 when I left, and I was like, oh, it's going extra time. But I had to get home to get in time to watch the All Blacks.
Right.
I was about down in Clark's Beach, just miles away. And then I heard on...
Where's Clark's Beach? Which direction?
South. You basically get to... you know how Auckland goes like this? It's like out there.
Like what's the nearby?
Karaka.
Okay. Where the corners.
Where they
the
breed the horses and stuff.
Yeah, the corn maze thing.
Oh, yeah, it is. And also the Spookers.
Spookers, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not too far from there. But yeah, I heard on the radio, I was listening to the cricket on the way home.
Golf
and then there was a Kiwi
like the
commentator.
Ultimate white guy, like golf, cricket. What else do you do? Like you go sailing as well? Like what else?
Do a little bit of stand-up paddleboarding.
Goodness sake.
So I...
You're from the North Shore, eh?
I am.
There we go. Look at this guy. Oh, my goodness. Do you drive a Volvo?
I drive a Skoda. Which is made by Volvo.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Oh, did you break your pen?
It's not even a Temu pen.
It's just a classic Bic.
Yeah, what am I doing? It's under my own power.
Yeah, so I was listening to the cricket, and then I think was it Jeremy Coney or someone said, "Oh, it's good. The good guys won. If anyone's interested, Wellington has beaten Bay of Plenty," and I went, fuck, as I was driving home. So that was irritating.
I would have liked Bay of Plenty to win it.
I think they won the very first NPC of all time, but it was under the points format, more like an EPL without a grand final.
Right.
So I don't even know what year that was.
Would have been nice for them to get a final.
Yeah, and they did, and it would have been so much nicer if it was played in the Bay.
Yeah. That would have been nicer at a smaller ground.
It was
like we were just before we started, we were having a quick look at the Stormers game from Stellenbosch, and it looks so much better, packed out, you know, small crowd but packed out ground compared to the ground in the main centre where it's just like most people don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it was I think it was
bad weather.
It was pissing down with the rain in Wellington because it's Wellington, and they and everyone just moved up to get underneath the concourse as well. It looked like balls.
Eden Park would have looked equally as bad. I'm not giving you,
but the Bay would have looked great. Like any of those small centres would have looked fantastic.
Yeah, but the NPC overall, I think, has had a pretty positive season.
Yeah, it was a great final.
It's actually got people talking. Yeah, the great final goes down to the wire. So, yeah.
Well done, Wellington.
Good job, Wellington.
And the 2CG award for best provincial team goes to
Bay of Plenty.
No, we yet to announce.
Okay.
Just a little teaser there.
Upcoming test matches.
We are playing England.
I think it's a 4-something in the morning kickoff.
Why does no one give a shit about our audience? I know. Nobody gives a shit about our country's viewing.
No.
When we play,
how can we get more New Zealanders watching?
There's so few of us.
All 12
Whenever we play, any of you buggers in the North Island, we play...
Did you say North Island?
No. In the Northern Hemisphere.
Oh, man. Well, to be fair, the Ireland game and the France games are going to be on nice and late.
Oh, good.
And to show you how much of a shit my brother gives about rugby, because I saw him today, he was like, oh, man, you must be really tired after the really early kickoff. And I was like, no, we played Japan, and it was on at like 7 o'clock in the evening. It was great.
It was a great time.
It was great. That's next weekend. He's like, oh, okay. Don't think he knew the result.
All right. Your brother, eh?
He doesn't care about rugby.
That's fair enough. But it was... Yeah, why can't they just play at 7 o'clock at night?
A little bit later.
Just play a nighttime game.
Yeah, night game.
Night game. We play night games for you every
Yeah,
game.
it should work both ways.
Yeah, give us a little. But they're all no. I can't remember. When did we get bloody daytime tests in New Zealand?
No. I think during COVID we might have had one.
We had
against the Wallabies.
I went to that game
because the Wallabies are like a decent time zone.
Yeah, and it was
away.
great. It was fantastic. We don't get bugger all night games for anyone. The freaking South Africans play during the day.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks. I think there's security reasons around.
People tell me that's part of the reason. Yeah, people are more comfortable going out during the day.
All right, fair enough. But like in a big crowd, shouldn't it be safe enough? They get a bit of security around.
I've never been. One of these days we'll go to South Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
2 cents gets distracted on tour. 2 cents gets mugged.
That's three channels.
Yeah, I
basically.
didn't know another channel.
2 cents gets distracted on tour. Oh god. Oh, by the way, you've got another channel, don't you?
Called 2 cents on tour.
Yeah.
My cousin Karen watches it. She won't watch the rugby, but she'll watch me in China.
Good on you, Kaz.
They call her Kaz. How'd you know that?
I didn't. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Also, Scotland are playing Fiji.
Oh,
But they'll both be without their top 14 players because this weekend is out of the international test window.
Given that, will the Fijians cause a... Okay, we didn't even talk about... We just said that England are playing the All Blacks.
Are we going to win? No. Yes?
Ooh, you don't think we are?
No. No, I'll go pessimistic. I'll say no.
You're feeling you're a bit low energy at the moment on your...
You just yawned. You're talking about me, low energy. I didn't yawn. It's all that golf.
It was your low energy that made me yawn.
It's infectious.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about the NPC, you're like, oh, great season.
So we win or we don't win? You don't think we win?
I want to see the lineups.
Really?
It would not surprise me if we lose.
Yes.
I would love to see us win.
I think we win.
Okay.
I think we get it done somehow.
Okay.
Just by sheer will of pressure. All back.
As long as we're not down with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah. We need
to be at least an 8-point lead.
We need to be
at least one score
15
ahead.
points up with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And then I'll feel comfortable. No, I won't feel comfortable. Yeah, it's ghastly, isn't it? I used to feel good, not good, but like we're still in this with like 15 down.
Every time we would go to Europe, I would look at the fixtures and be like, we should win all those games.
Yeah.
Not to be arrogant, but we used to have a very good team. We would go to Europe and win all our games. We might drop one.
Yeah. Okay, we've talked about this, but let's nuts on the line. How many do we lose?
2.
2.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we lose 1.
1, okay. It was either 1 or 2.
I reckon we have a cracking. That's a great result if we lose 1.
Yeah.
If we lose this weekend, we're losing 3.
Okay. Scotland, Fiji.
Both
sides. It'll be basically it's like the Fijian draw against Glasgow Warriors.
Holy smokes.
With a few guys from Edinburgh and a few guys from other places for the draw.
Duhan van der Merwe.
He'll be playing. He plays for Edinburgh, so he's playing.
Okay.
He's available.
Duhan.
Yep.
Duhan van der Merwe. Do you remember the song I'm trying to sing?
Duhast from Rammstein. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, I know that.
Sometimes I think of like mock songs I could do about rugby stuff, and I was like, because I can play the guitar.
You can.
But then I'm like, then I'd have to like record myself, learn how to play it really properly.
There's a lot of work going into that for like 500 views.
That's the big problem with my effort videos, I call them now.
This is true.
That they take ages and they're a lot of effort, and then
consistency is key.
Oh god. Anyway, thank you for watching this on my channel. I appreciate it. If you're still with us, this is a grind, man.
You wanted to get through some other sports.
Okay, yeah. Who wins that game? Scotland probably wins it. Yeah?
I think Scotland. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Rugby-wise, I mean, the URC was on at the weekend. Leinster and the Lions were the only 2 unbeaten teams. Leinster beat the Lions. So
I like the Lions because it's Rehan's
team. They've been doing remarkably well.
Yeah, good.
And they always 3 of the 4 Welsh teams won this weekend, and they didn't play any other Welsh teams.
Scarlets get up?
Scarlets got up. Ospreys got up.
Cardiff?
And Cardiff got up. Cardiff had a fucking miracle comeback.
Ba-boom.
They were like 19-0 down, playing like dog shit.
Dead and buried.
Dead and buried. I literally hung the Ulster jersey on my wall because I was like, I'm doing the wrap up later. Ulster are going to win it, so Cardiff jersey can get fucked. And then I had to put on the Cardiff jersey for the video because they.
What was that noise?
I think I must have got an email from some Cardiff fan saying, "Get in there." But no, they played remarkably well in the second half. Came back. That was a great watch. So 3 of the 4 Welsh teams won, which is great going into the break because the Scarlets have won 3 in a row. Like, what the hell?
Get up, Scarlets.
Like, I want Welsh rugby to get back on its feet.
How are the guys with the mask doing? What are they called?
The Munster men.
No, they're a Welsh team.
Which ones?
They have a mask. Is there?
Oh, Ospreys. Yeah, they won.
Yeah, they won too.
They've been a bit of a mixed bag.
Well, is an osprey a bird?
Yeah, it's a bird. So why it's a mask, I'm not really sure. Someone will explain it.
Okay.
Their logo used to be a bird.
But now it looks like a mask that you wear. It's like an eyes wide shut type of.
Maybe it's like a bird from a bird's eye view. I'm not really sure.
Swingers.
Maybe. Squidge is an Ospreys fan. That's his team.
Oh yeah.
So
good on you. Go the Ospreys. Okay. How my team Munster going?
they lost both of their games on their tour to South Africa. Their coach is pretty pissed off. They got fucking hammered by the Sharks.
Damn.
Was it the Sharks this week?
The Bulls won against
Benetton.
Benetton. I saw that.
Yes.
And
that was a bit ugly, that game.
Stormers got up at that.
No, the Stormers lost against Glasgow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Glasgow in the was it a good game at least for the
Yeah,
locals?
that game was crazy. No, that game was good.
Okay, that's
There's
good.
been some good games in the URC.
All right, keep on going, URC. Other sports.
Cricket.
Cricket.
Tell us about your golf game.
I'm basking. I am basking in the glory that is the Blackcaps winning a test series in India.
I've seen exactly 0 seconds of this entire thing.
Can you try and convert this into rugby language for me?
Okay.
So
New Zealand's like a Scotland at rugby, cricket, right?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Gets up.
We're like a plucky underdog.
We won the World Test Championship in 2016 or 2017 or something like that.
Okay.
Just by winning enough teams. And we do well. We punch above our weight.
Yeah.
But okay, so India are well on top of the World Test Championship at the moment. Okay. Even after the last 2 losses, they're still on top. Okay. We lost 2 tests in a row to Sri Lanka before this test series began. Our test team has actually been playing pretty poorly of late. I don't know where we were ranked in it. We got high now after the last couple of results.
Right.
But so we've been playing really, really badly, maybe 9th or 10th in the world, probably ranked before this test series started. India was well on top in the test championship right now, have not lost a test series in India since 2012.
That's 12 years ago.
Over 4,000 days. Okay, they have not lost a test series. Nobody in God's green earth gave the Blackcaps a chance of even winning one. So the fact we won one was huge. We won one for the first time in 36 years, and then we won another one 7 days later.
Wow.
How would you
Sounds
put that
pretty big.
In rugby context, what would you say? Is it basically like Italy going to South Africa and winning a test series?
Is it that big?
It's kind of massive. It really, really is.
We're better than Italy. We're better at cricket than Italy are at rugby.
Yeah, okay, maybe. So it's probably Scotland.
Scotland going to South Africa and winning the first one. Like, oh shit, that's a big upset. And then they win the second one.
But not only just winning, pumping them by over 100 runs. Then the second game. So they always do these super spinny wickets and stuff, and no test batsman can handle the spin. But we played Mitchell Santner, who didn't even play the first test.
Is he still playing?
Mitchell, yeah, he's like 32 or something.
Jeepers.
He got his best test figures before this was a 3-fer. He never even got a 4-fer. Okay, in this test he got 7 for like 50 or something in the first innings. 7 wickets. And then the second innings, he got 6-fer. So, 13 wickets across the test in a historic...
Well, that's not as many as Richard Hadley's got.
Yeah, but that's like the all-time New Zealand... So this is like...
I'm just being a bit facetious, I know. That's very good.
This is like basically... how can I...
But does he open the bowling like Deepak Patel? Come on, let me know.
He got in there, but he did 29 overs in a row.
That's pretty sweet.
29 overs in a row. He was...
He's going to have some pretty bad arthritis when he gets on.
It was incredible, man. That effort is just so against the run of play. It's one of the greatest upsets of all time in the sport. One of the greatest moments in New Zealand cricket, so immensely proud of them. I was just overjoyed. Like, I was like watching that Japanese game, and I was like, well, I watched the All Blacks and I missed a little bit of the sessions, but I was just like, I was hankering.
You were thinking I'd rather be watching the cricket.
I was just thinking, I really want to change the channel to the cricket. Let's get on. But that was actually during a period where the
Japanese.
The Indians were chasing. They started their innings. They were changing 359 for a win in the fourth innings. That's a big total to chase. You got some understanding of the game itself, and then so they went off to a rollicking start. We're over 6 and over for a while, but then Santa just started like slowing up his pace, just like having the courage to throw it up there, just being incredibly accurate, and they just couldn't handle him. Got out like Rohit Sharma, got out Kohli, it was incredible, man. Just so proud of them, so proud of them. Just an amazing moment for New Zealand cricket, an amazing moment for New Zealand sport, and just we've got a legit chance of going 3-0. For us to win one game was like $21. You know, like before the game, it was insane odds.
It's
like
a little on the series.
This is just mental. Like wasn't a pundit in the world that gave us a hope. Everyone was just picking 3-0, and I just expected I was gonna just follow it with like a squinted eye from a distance, but I've just been so enthralled, so incredibly proud of them.
Loves a winner.
So good, and this was done without Kane Williamson. Kane Williamson's been injured. Our best player, our best batsman of all time. Amazing stuff. Say something that it's congratulatory to the wonderful Blackcaps.
Good job, Blackcaps. That's probably a bit more impressive than us beating Japan in rugby.
It really was.
Who's got more hope? Is it Japan getting a cricket team going or India getting a rugby team going?
I think Japan's
pretty good at baseball.
Yeah, I think if
India's got the population, but maybe not the
they got
surface.
1.5 billion people over there.
They're the biggest country in the world by population now.
And the 1.5 billion people who are obsessed with cricket.
Yeah, not so much rugby.
No, not at all. Versus our 5 million who are just like, we follow the cricket.
Passing interest.
Yeah, it's just remarkable. Remarkable stuff. Anyway, is
cricket. So for the 5 viewers that are left, you want to say something about the UFC as well?
The UFC, I was really excited. Ilya Taporia versus Max Holloway, UFC 308. Robbie Whittaker versus Hamzat Chimaev as well. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to buy that card. I can't wait. And traditionally, all our cards, you wake up in the morning at about 11 o'clock. It's great for US sports. So at 11 o'clock, you get like the prelim start. And then around about 1 o'clock, 1:30 or something,
starts getting serious.
The main card starts, and you've actually got to pay the pay-per-view. And usually the actual big fight will start around 4ish.
Right.
So I was thinking that was going to happen, and I wasn't really paying attention. And having a real lazy Sunday morning, and just did the old thing. Went to go take a shit, and opened up Twitter, and then it was played in it was in Saudi Arabia, so it's an earlier start time, and I read that Bobby Whittaker tapped out just real quick, and then I was like, no, fuck, I can't believe this is on right now. And then next tweet down was Ilya knocks out Max Holloway. So the two main fights get spoiled for me like that.
So was it not live here?
It was live, but it was on in Saudi Arabia. So usually
you just hadn't thought to turn the TV on yet?
I hadn't turned the TV on. I was just expecting
Had
it
you
to start.
paid for it?
I hadn't paid for it.
Oh, why did you say that? That's where I first go. What's the financial implications of this situation?
But no, it got wrong for me. So I didn't watch, and then I was like, it happened. I knew the result, so I wasn't going to pay for it after the fact.
How much did you save?
$40.
There you go. It's a win.
Oh no, it's not. I love it. I really love it. It's really a fun experience watching a pay-per-view. But yeah, it was. So that I was really looking forward to it. It was like, a little Sunday afternoon action. This is gonna be great. But no, fucking went for a tramp instead through the Carrie Glen Reserve.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Have you? Yeah, on the North Shore.
Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, it's that big freaking massive bridge over the canopy, the forest canopy.
I don't remember.
Oh, it's pretty dope.
Went to the Cascades.
What's that?
It was like a Waitakere Rangers walk thing.
Oh yeah.
My son tried to catch some eels.
How do you go? You should catch eels at night.
No, they came out and tried to get the bread, and he tried to get the eels, but they got away. So
he's a killer, that boy.
He's something.
Anyway, yeah, that's other sports.
I watched a bit of the NHL.
What's
The Islanders were leading 3-0 against the reigning champion Panthers. I was like, oh, I'll tune into that one. And then they conceded 5 goals in a row. And I was like, I'm going to turn this off now.
How are my Red Wings going?
I don't know. I've only been following the Islanders.
How are the Canucks going?
Don't know.
The Bruins?
Nope.
Penguins?
The Penguins are in an interesting situation because they've got like this team that won a couple of Stanley Cups, but they're all getting old.
Yeah. Isn't that what the...
Like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin are getting old.
Does Ovechkin play for the Wizards?
The Washington Capitals.
Oh,
He's got a chance to break the Great One's goal record, but then his scoring has just fallen off a cliff.
He was amazing for a long time.
Oh, yes. He was a great goal scorer.
What's the amazing guy who used to play for the Penguins?
Not Sidney Crosby?
Yeah, I think it's
he's getting old as well. He's about the same age as Ovechkin.
So they're long in the tooth, maybe a season or 2 left. If that.
I think that's basically it, yeah.
All right, Mark. Well, look, we managed to stretch out one game of rugby for another hour.
There you go.
It's going to be so much better when we can talk about multiple games of rugby.
Well, next weekend we got 2.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then the weekend following, it's going to all be on.
Yes, all on. And once again, big thank you to the Ballard Boxing Club and boxing.
There's a boxing gym down in like near West City, and I've walked past it and be like, that looks kind of cool, but I've never gone in.
You should go in, but actually don't go into that one. Catch a flight to Ballard and go to that
Oh,
one.
there we go. Next time I'm in Seattle or the neighbouring Ballard, I will I'll pop in, talk some rugby.
Fantastic.
And maybe do a bit of boxing.
Well done, Mark.
Cheers, champ.
Thank you very much for watching.
Take care, folks.
Adida.